Hello everybody. Today in this video I want to introduce to you the result of my research work. The theme of my study effect of glycine on antioxidant system activity in the dynamic of experimental myocardial infarction. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death worldwide. An estimated 17.9 million people died from CVD in 2016, accounting for 41% of all deaths worldwide. 85% of these deaths were happened due to heart attack and stroke. More than 75% of CVD deaths occur in low and middle income countries. Relevance of research. In Uzbekistan, the problem of CBT is also the most important. So, in the overall structure of causes of this in the Republic in 2017, the first place was taken by diseases of the circulatory system, 59 and 7%, the main causes of which were coronary heart disease, arterial hypertension and their complications, myocardial infarction, cerebral stroke, etc. Therefore, study of the pathogenic features of the development of CVD and possible ways of their treatment are of particular relevance. It's known that the balance between the intensity of the process of lipid peroxidation and the activity of the state of the antioxidant system is an important factor in the normal functioning of cells. Violation of this balance in the form of a decrease in antioxidant system activity or lipid peroxidation activation is one of the leading pathogenic factors in the mechanism of ischemic and perfusion damage to the myocardium. According to a number of studies, glycine has shown efficiency in pathologies occurring with the development of ischemia and hypoxia. In this regards, its influence of the activity of the antioxidant system was of interest. The purpose of our study: assessment of the effect of glycine on the processes of lipid peroxidation in the dynamic of experimental myocardial infarction. Materials and research methods. Experimental myocardial infarction on 10 rabbits weighing 2.5 and 2.8 kilograms was caused by ligation of the descending branch of the left coronary artery. 5 rabbits were received glycine at a dose of 100 mg per kilogram orally. Animals received glycine at the indicated dose every day, and animals not treated with glycine constituted the control group. Blood was taken from animals before dressing or initially after 30 minutes, 1, 3, 6, and 12 hours, 1, 3, and 7 days after experimental myocardial infarction. The intensity of LPR processes was judged by the content of its products, malondialdehyde MJ and DC conjugates in blood plasma. The content of MGA in blood serum was determined by the method of Andreeva and DC according to Gavrilov and Mishkarudnaya. The state of antioxidant system was judged by the activity of antioxidant enzymes, for example, superoxide dismutase (SOD) and catalase (CAT). SOD activity in blood plasma was determined according to Mykhtarian, Badalyan, and catalase according to Karalyuk and others. Numerical data processed statistically using students' tests. Change in the DC content in the blood serum of rabbits with EMI and on the background of glycine administration. A study of DC content during EMI showed their increase also after 1 hour after coronary occlusion by 49.1%. At 3, 6, 12, 24, and 72 hours after occlusion, an increase in DC content was observed by 361, 226, and 110, 144.9, 204, and 8, and 25.2% respectively in the comparison with the initial level. With the introduction of glycine, a statistically significant increase in DC content by 34.7% was also observed after 1 hour at 3, 6, 12, 24, and 72 hours after occlusion. The DC content turned out to be increased from the initial value by 262, 158, and 94, 119, and 2, and 120.4% respectively, which was also significantly lower compared to the control index. So changes in the MDA content in the blood serum of rabbits with EMI on the background of glycine administration. The result of measuring MDA in blood serum showed similar results in the dynamic as when determining DC in the blood serum of animals with experimental infarction of myocardium. Salt activity in the dynamic of EMI and against the background of glycine administration. The study of antioxidant enzymes activity showed that in EMI, statistically significant decrease of SOT activity by 63.8% was observed from 3 hours after ligation. At 6, 12, 24, and 72 hours after the occlusion, the decrease of SOT activity was 48.2, 35.2, and 37.3 and 57.7% respectively compared to the initial index. There was also statistically significant decrease of SOT activity by 48.1% after 3 hours after glycine injection. At 6, 12, 24, and 72 hours after occlusion, SOT activity was reduced from the initial value by the 13.9, 22.6, 31.2, and 33.1% respectively, which was significantly higher compared to the control values. SOT activity both in the control and glycine treated was at the baseline level only on the 7th day of the study. Catalase activity in the dynamic of experimental myocardial infarction and again the background of glycine administration. The study of catalase activity in experimental myocardial infarction showed its decrease also at 3 hours after coronary occlusion by 47.7%. At 6, 12, 24, and 72 hours after the occlusion, there was a decrease of catalase activity by 14.6, 31.8, and 38.6 and 49.6% respectively compared to the initial volume. When glycine was introduced, a statistically significant decrease in catalase activity by 37.5% was also observed in 3 hours. at 6, 12, 24, and 72 hours after occlusion. Catalyst activity was reduced from 20.6, 22.8, 26.9, and 26.3% respectively, which was also significantly higher than the benchmarks. Thus, the results of studies show that glycine contributes to a smaller decrease in the activity of antioxidant enzymes and myocardial infarction. This probably leads to a smaller accumulation of products lipid peroxidation, for example MDA and DC, in myocardial infarction. In summary, it can be said that in myocardial infarction, the introduction of glycine results into less intensification of the process of free radical oxidation of lipids in the body. Conclusion of study. The result of the carried out studies indicate the antioxidant properties of glycine. Considering its effectiveness, availability, harmlessness, as well as a wide range of metabolic effects, glycine can be recommended for myocardial infarction as an adjunct drug. Thank you for your attention. If you like the video, subscribe to my channel and press the heart. Goodbye.